Hello friends, just as we shouldn't build a house on top of a volcano, we shouldn't build a SaaS app there either, unless you're okay letting it burn down. SaaS apps, for those who are not familiar with the term, means a software as a service. It's a great way for people, especially little people, weekend entrepreneurs, to start an internet-related business, as long as it's not on top of a volcano. So this video was recently triggered with the trade war between the U.S. and Huawei. When I first heard about Huawei, which I pronounce as Hawaii, when I first heard it, tells you how much I knew about the company. But when I first heard about that, they wouldn't be allowed to use any integrated Android features like Google Store, or use the ARMS chip, or use SD cards anymore. Even the IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, banned Huawei employees from the peer review process when writing papers, although that got quickly overturned. I was like, wow, they're finished. The volcano erupted. It was like, how can they survive this? So it came on my radar when I first heard about Meng Wanzhou, the CFO of Huawei, that got arrested in Canada in 2018. And apparently she's still waiting for extradition. They're thinking about 2020 now. I hope I never get extradited. Welcome to the Viral Mail Show. My name is Manuel Amunategui. This video will be classified under channels and state of the industry. So you'll see my other videos covering what's going on in the tech industry. Please sign up for my newsletter. It's in the middle of the page right here. And if you enjoy this stuff, please give it a thumbs up. It's always appreciated. So Google, as a result of all of this, is stating that banning Huawei, cutting them off from Android, is actually more of a threat than letting them use it, which is very interesting. And I won't touch that one, but I think it's interesting. But we are seeing that governments that are not aligned with the U.S. are definitely taking precautions. Like China and Russia recently announced they're going to dump Microsoft products. Right? They don't want to. They don't want to have a same situation happen to them. But it turns out Huawei, I did not know enough about Huawei. It's a huge company. They're like Cisco, so they're very diversified. They're not on top of a volcano. They're not finished. Apparently, they've been working on other phone OSs. They have also been stockpiling chips, so they're going to continue. Though their phone units have taken a hit. I did not use it in the title because I just don't understand enough. There's patent dispute, there's espionage, there's all sorts of things going on. But one thing I want to talk about here, the important thing, is not to build your company on top of a volcano. Basically, you need to make sure what is your bottleneck, what is your fail point. Twitter, for example, has repeatedly tightened its API, which has caused many companies to have to pivot, or to go worse, to go bankrupt. There was a case in 2014. There was a company that was working very closely with Twitter. They worked for years. It's a multi-million-dollar company, and they were offering analytics by parsing through the appropriately named Twitter firehole. So this is the entire Twitter feed. They would parse through it and they would return analytics. And they've been working together for like 3 years. And until one day, Twitter bought a competing service and decided to revoke DataSift's access to their data. So, this is a company with many, many employees. They could have gone bankrupt overnight just because Twitter decided not to work with them. These were lucky because they ended up pivoting to work with Facebook, and Facebook now they're working together, or they bought them. I don't know the whole story, but they survived. Another case is, the results from Cambridge Analytica. Well, this is the human virus that stole some 90 million user information through Facebook. And Facebook, as a result, changes API policies. It's constantly changing them. It's a good stuff that they're changing, right? They're tightening their policies so people like you and me don't get screwed. But they've also, as a result of Cambridge Analytica, a lot of SaaS companies got hurt. And it might have even, I suspect it might even have triggered GDPR. So it's critical to know where your revenue is coming from, making sure that if it's a singular source, and if it's like Twitter, if it's Facebook, if it's a Google, from one day to the next, a policy can change, an API thing can change, and then you're screwed. Your business is finished. And the crazy thing is, it's not always about the money. I have often been told that I don't promote my videos well enough. So I took my Twitter account. I've had a Twitter account forever. I joined in 2008, as you can see, it's for a long time. And I decided to kind of, start using it more and promote my videos. So maybe I promote 3 or 4 videos a day, and also do retweets, things I think are interesting, and, kind of growing my channel. As you can see now, I'm following some 3,000 people. I have some 2,000 people who are following me. So it's basically just basic promotion, nothing weird. Well, I got banned. It was just for a few hours, but for a few hours I couldn't see They told me, I'm doing something weird. They didn't tell me what, so I have no idea what I was doing, but I could not see who I was following, and I couldn't follow anybody anymore. So it was really weird, and it got me thinking. I'm not using weird tools like stuff that, that bombards Twitter. There's nothing apparent, but it made me realize that, we're very vulnerable to these technologies. So if, you're making your money through Twitter or, through other sources, you got to be careful. What it got me worried, not because of Twitter, because I'm new to Twitter, so it wouldn't be the end of the world if they banned me. I got more worried about YouTube. I've been using YouTube for 5 years. I have some 200 videos. It's not really a source of income. I probably make like $50 a month on YouTube, so it's not a big deal. But it's a huge source of it's a big hobby of mine. And it's also a source of pride, and it's my brand, so I'd hate to lose it. But it got me thinking, what can I do? How can I protect myself from these kind of situations? So of course, I started doing backups of all my videos. All my videos now are backed up. In worst case scenario, I could move them to Vimeo if I had to. I've also started thinking about doing podcasts, so why not? I've other things I've been doing is using some of the video material to do courses. So there's definitely a lot of ways you can diversify, but it's critical to think about this. And this brings me to the most important thing. This is what I want to close this video with, is are you sitting on top of a volcano? Are you personally sitting on top of a volcano? Now, for me, YouTube is very important because it's my voice. It's my brand. It's my, it's how I share what I do. I always want to make sure that everything I do is not just a 1 unit of work for a 1 unit of pay, right? 1-to-1, because that's not sustainable in the long run. We're getting older. We have to make sure that, that you're, for example, maxing out your 401k, that you're invested, that, that you maybe have a side business. So that's one reason, if you're like a lot of software developers out there, aren't very good with being a landlord, of having side businesses. The one thing you can do is push something out on a very regular basis in the public domain. That means push something in GitHub, right? Anything that you've worked on in the past that push it on GitHub, because that's going to get your experience out. People are going to know about who you are and what you do. Answer questions on Stack Overflow. That's immortal, right? Answers there are going to last for years. I'm still seeing people who are still looking at my videos 5 years in. So make videos, write books. I've been self-publishing a lot of books. I've also published through traditional publishers, but that keeps going, right? So you want to make sure that you do something and that lasts forever. So things I recommend is, start simple, push something out on GitHub on a regular basis, publish a blog, or if you don't want to have your own blog, push it out on Medium, make videos like I'm doing, just basically take your experience and share it to the world, and in a way immortalize it and gain experience. And another thing I do, I have 2 books. So at the end of the video, I like to kind of promote my books, and I have published a bunch of books, and that's also a thing I recommend. Self-publish your own books. It's very easy to do. One is Grow Your Web Brand and Visibility and Traffic Organically. This is on these are my self-published books. You can all find them on Amazon. And Create Income Streams, where I talk about creating income streams through classes like Udemy or Teachable, where you can then teach a class, not only share experience, share what you know, but also monetize it. Grow Your Web Experience is how I grew my data science website. I'm gonna take it at github.io for over 5 years. Has some 10,000 visits a month. So these are great ways of kind of extending yourself, multiplying yourself. And I've also, for those who are interested in monetizing machine learning, my traditional book, Monetizing Machine Learning. So you can find all these books on Amazon. Simply put my first and last name on the Amazon search bar, and you'll find my books. But the key is, if you are doing a 1-to-1, right, 1 unit of work for 1 unit of pay, then you may be sitting on top of a volcano. Something to think about.